guilt to the extent that you're making yourself miserable doesn't actually help anybody else. It doesn't fix the problem. It doesn't help it. So what my suggestion would be, first of all, when you put your clothes on in the morning, pray for the person who made them. It may be a little child. It may be a very old person. It may be a young teenage girl. In Bangladesh, the most common thing that we would see as far as garment factories was that was the one place that teenage girls could get a job. There weren't jobs for women hardly anywhere in the country, and the garment factories was one place where they could work without the status issue and having their reputation tainted, which was very important. And in fact, at sunrise, you would see the garment factory girls by the hundreds coming in herds, walking to the garment factory, and at sunset, you would see them coming back. They'd be together. It was very important that they were together, and that was a good thing. It was a way for them to help their families. So I would suggest praying for the person who made your clothes. But as far as your children, thinking about, how do you raise kids to not feed the system? You're probably not going to change the system necessarily, but how do you keep from being part of the demand? I would recommend, for one, raise your kids not to care about the labels. Labels are just that. They're just labels. They're just a little thing with somebody's name on it that for some reason makes them think they can raise the prices. And it is a status in America, and it's kind of an addiction that doesn't really make anybody happy, and it depletes resources that you could be using to fight human trafficking and rescue kids from the garment factories instead. So I would raise them to try to dress well and nicely, but not to need to have the labels and not need to have the fads either. Fads are something stores love, something that stores actually create so that you need to go and buy new clothes every season, so that your old clothes are old-fashioned clothes and you have to buy new ones. And so people keep buying, and it feeds the demand, and the demand feeds the supply. So I would recommend, I like to buy my kids' clothes at yard sales and at thrift stores, and my own too, because for one, you don't have to worry about them shrinking when you wash them, and for another, if your kid's wearing a shirt that costs 50 cents, when they spill ketchup all down the front of it, who really cares? It's not that big of a deal. And it also teaches them that clothes really aren't that important. And you can buy really nice clothes at yard sales and thrift stores. I love shopping them. And they can grow up with a sense of wearing clothes that are classic rather than faddish, so that next season they can still wear the same shirt because it's not going to be totally out of style. And other than that, I would recommend, I guess maybe just not needing so much, or not feeling like we need so much. Do we really have to have a whole closet full of clothes? Do we really have to have 5 pairs of shoes, 10 pairs of shoes, more than 10 pairs of shoes? What for? What's that for? What is that doing for us? And instead, if we can raise another generation of kids who have enough but don't need more than enough, then they can use the resources that they have to help the people who don't have enough at all.